Hello, everybody. Just wanted to go over some basic tips that I've come across that I actually forgot, um, I think, to mention before. Some quick notes. Like one, wards. Wards save lives so much. But in order to, you can't just drop a ward and expect it to save you. You have to be paying attention to the map. You need map awareness. But say you're Twin Blast, right? And you're laning right lane. If you drop a ward, and there are plenty of wards, Twin Blast can always benefit from a ward. Um, you have a variety of universal wards to choose from. Epic did a really nice job with that, as well as affinities have specific wards. Twin Blast would have to use a universal one, but like I said, there's plenty. You could even just use a Shadow Ward. Drop that just inside the jungle. If you're Orb Prime side, you want to drop it like midway to the Orb Prime, little center. And if you're the black buff side, same thing, about midway to the black buff side. Really quickly, drop it, get back to your lane. That way, it's, in the jungle, you can see somebody coming from the jungle and give yourself time to escape. If you just drop it right at your shadow pool, you don't have time to escape as well and everything. But wards save so many lives. I don't use them in a lot of my builds. I probably should use them more. Everyone could definitely benefit from them. You can't trust that your junglers and gankers are going to have those wards. You just can't. If you need a ward, put in a ward. You could always substitute anything. um, if you're trying to play a new hero, don't be afraid to go into co-op. Don't be afraid to go into solo. That's what they're for. If you've never played a hero, or you're trying to get better at a hero, you're trying out new builds, things of that nature. Yes, PvP is it's not ranked right now, but it is all that the Paragon community has. So the players are taking it seriously. And yes, probably more seriously than they should, myself included. But, don't be respectful of that. And know that, yes, the Paragon community does view that as the main source of competitiveness. And so PvP is where you want to go once you've fully grasped everything that you need to grasp about your character, their kits, any builds that you're building, things of that nature. Be ready to actually contribute. Also, don't AFK, even if it's for 5 seconds. Any time that you're not playing is time that, you know, everyone can see how fast a minion wave can push up a lane when it's unguarded. Um, it's hard to win 4v5, 3v5. Another thing, don't get frustrated because you're losing and stop playing. Like, if you're playing badly or you think your team isn't helping you out, there's been a lot of times where if my team had just stuck with it, we could have overcame the difficulties that we had in the beginning. Like, sometimes one team will have a good start and not be able to finish strong, and you'll win, or they'll win if it's your team that had a good start and fumbled. But stick with it no matter what. I've seen people running in circles on the platform or just shooting up in the air because they're just like, it's whatever. I got 20 minutes to wait till I can surrender. And then after 20 minutes, nobody wanted to surrender because 4 people are still trying to play the game. So I'm just going to not play. And, you'll get reported for that as well. You don't think that, oh, I'm moving, so just in case my team wins, I'll still get the points. Yeah, you'll get caught. And it's unfair. It brings team morale down and everything like that. And anything you can do can help. Anything is a learning experience. So even if you do lose, don't take it to heart. I know a lot of people do, myself included. don't take your losses too badly. Get up, figure out, okay, was it my deck? Was it my playing? Was it just my team? Was it, somebody was feeding? What was the problem? Try and analyze your losses. It's the only way you're going to get better. Um, so when you do go into PvP, it's not PvE. I know they've upped the PvE, so it's kind of on a PvP level now, from what I hear. I personally haven't checked it out in any of the recent builds, but yeah, it's going to be different playing PvP, obviously, especially if you got somebody with a really super advanced build that maybe you don't have as advanced of a build. Don't get discouraged if you lose. Try again. Um, that's pretty much it. Uh, I see a lot of people on the forums and whatnot underestimating crit. Don't underestimate crit. That's double whatever damage you're doing. Attack speed also really good. Even on casters, it helps with their late game. If you put on attack speed and some penetration, and you can just eat through somebody, because you're dropping your big AoE abilities that you have, especially, goodness, that radius on Bellica's bomb is just insane. Somebody did mention that the colors of flowers in the jungle appear to be the same as the buffs, so if you're getting disoriented in the jungle, um, that sort of thing will help. You can actually follow the map while you're running through the jungle to help you a bit. It's true to actually how the map is set up. They've done a really good job with that map. So a lot of times I won't even look at my character. I'll be looking at the map as I'm running around, because I have wards up, so I'm looking for who's where, how many people are in lane, where minions are, where I need to go. Just constantly be looking at that map. It's so vital to look at that map and to use that map. It saves your life so many times. You only need to stand on the harvester while it's placing. Once you get that initial bar built in either the 3 seconds or the 10 seconds or whatever, once you get that initial bar built, there's going to be a second bar that builds. That bar is going to build whether you leave or not. So you can leave. Don't destroy a harvester. Don't worry about destroying harvesters if you don't have the attack power. Don't focus on objectives that you really don't need to be focusing on. If you're a Gideon, don't be an enemy jungle trying to get their buffs. It's without your. I mean, if you can coordinate with your junglers, fine. But don't. Couple of things that I've found really, really bothersome for me. When I'm in a lane and a jungler comes in and steals my points. Now I'm trying to last hit. I'm a laner trying to last hit. I can't go into the jungle as well. I'll get my ass murdered. So I'm in the lane. I'm trying to farm. Don't come in and steal my points. You're hindering my leveling so that you can level. It's selfish. Conversely, if I'm in the jungle and I'm killing a buff camp, or I'm killing a white camp, any camp in the jungle, if I'm killing something in the jungle, don't come and kill my points. Don't come and take my points. I don't get even shared at that point, because the jungle does not get shared experience. The lanes get shared experience, jungle does not. So whoever kills the camp, kills the camp. Now, I realize junglers are fighting for points, but come on, somebody's working for a camp, move on to the next one. It's not that hard. Try and look for a gank. There's plenty of experience in that jungle for 2 junglers, both the left and right side. One can stay left, one can stay right. That solves a whole lot of trouble. One can stay in enemy territory, one can stay in friendly territory, things like that, if you're good enough. I know my Sevarog, I'm always in enemy territory. I'm always taking down their harvesters. I'm always bringing up harvesters in their territory. I'm always trying to keep their buffs down, things like that. And then if there is a friendly jungler, they can always take our stuff because not that I spend less time there, but um, by the time I make my rounds in the enemy territory, go back for more keys, um, and then head back into the jungle, they've had plenty of time to do their thing on our side. Um, Laners shouldn't steal junglers' experience. Junglers shouldn't steal laners' experience. Kills or whatever, don't let a kill get away. So if somebody's been working for a kill and they can get the kill, don't steal the kill. Don't walk up and just two-shot like a Bellica will run up and use her ultimate on someone that's got no health. That's ridiculous. While I'm in favor of using ultimates to kill weak people, minions, things like that, because especially at the 25, 30, 40 minute mark, um, killing is vital, more so than in the beginning, because respawn times are enough that you can make something happen at that point while somebody's dead. And I do get that if the kill is going to get away, get the kill, but don't steal somebody's kill if they've obviously been, let them get the kill, and maybe you run up and tag them just so you get the assist. Um, if you're not, say, a Kwong or a Grux, that tagging is like running over a rabbit with a semi, basic attack wise. But yeah, just try and be mindful of everyone leveling. If you do see somebody struggling to level on your team, maybe you want to go over and help them. You can lane with them. You can follow them around if you know they're getting killed, or maybe they're not killing. They're not getting those last hits. If you're a PC player, maybe you can say something like, "Hey, easier to level if you last hit a minion, as opposed to just letting them die in lane with you," or things like that. Or, "Hey, I've got enough experience. Why don't you come grab a couple of jungle camps with me?" Something like that. Try and help out your team. Um, Too many times I see I, I. It's a team game. It really is more than your shooters, more than anything else. You can very rarely carry a team, especially the way they're trying to turn it. With recent changes, you can't, because you can solo your lane all the way up to an inhibitor and still lose the game because you didn't watch the other two lanes, um, and neither did your team. Who knows? Who knows? Because only certain characters can really kill a core, especially with only one inhibitor down. Gideon can't. 90% of the casters can't. They do now drop off late game, so it's got to be a fighter or a ranger. You really need those. Team composition. That's the last thing I'm going to get into. Glad thing I remembered that. Team composition. When you're building your team, don't be quick to be like, "Oh, I want to play this hero. This is the hero I'm going to play in the next match, and I'm only going to play this hero." Or like, some people will be like, "I'm the best Gideon. I'm good, really good Gideon. I don't want anybody else to play Gideon. I'm going to choose Gideon and only Gideon." Or, whatever hero be your preference. Have some flexibility. Don't just play one hero, because if you're, say, last in queue for some reason, and top pick is Gideon, and that's it. Now you only play Gideon. What are you going to do? Have a backup and be mindful of what the other team is picking. So if you see the other team picks a ranger and nobody on your team is picking a ranger, and you have a pocket Twin Blast or Grim, choose them when your turn comes up. If you're third in line and second person on the enemy team chose Twin Blast, the bottom two are calling out that they're going to be junglers, choose a ranger. You need somebody to hold a lane. Basically, what you want is 3 laners and either 2 junglers. Now, that's going to be a jungler and a ganker, or a jungler and a support, or maybe 2 supports. You don't always need a melee. Counter to popular opinion, melees are not always needed. Now, if you need some damage. Too many times I've had teams that don't have damage. I didn't have damage. I didn't know they weren't gonna have damage because of the characters they chose. I figured I could choose a character with less damage and be okay. And what I mean by damage is I mean basic attack damage. Because as I said, casters are going to fall off late game, and because of that, you're definitely going to want somebody with damage on the team, be it a Grux, a Sparrow, a Twin Blast, a Grimex, somebody with damage, Murdoch, Kwong, anybody, because casters are going to fall off. If you have, Richter, who only built defense, Muriel that only built mana and cooldown reduction, Gideon that only built attack speed, and I don't know, Bellica that didn't know how to play, then your team's screwed because you have no damage and the other team probably has more damage. So you want somebody holding a lane, and that doesn't have to be just rangers and pushes. That can be melees too. There are some really good melee characters that can hold lanes, those being Greystone, Kwong, and Grux can hold lanes. And by hold lanes, I mean successfully be in lane at all time, not leave the lane much, push the lane, take towers, fight their laner. They're actually better at fighting their laner than a ranger, because, say, Kwong, Greystone, Grux, they all have things that benefits them greatly. Defense, they have stuns and slows and things of that nature, pulls, things to really get that kill on the opponent they're laning against. So that's something to keep in mind. If you do like playing a melee, you can lane, and then say you're going to lane. That way other people know, okay, I can choose a jungler and still, be okay that the team comp is going to work. So try and talk in the draft, and let somebody know, like, I prefer 9 times out of 10 to solo mid. I like to solo my lane because I don't like to share last hits, and I like to lane. So I always say that. I'll pick Sparrow, and then I'll say, I'm going to solo mid, and then I hit the mid little icon thing, and letting everybody know, hey, I've got mid covered. And then 9 times out of 10, nobody comes in mid unless I need help. And yeah, so that's basic tips. No, it ran a little longer than I wanted it to run, but hopefully that helps you guys out. If you have anything to add, feel free to drop it in the comments section. Subscribe. I've got some really other great new player tips, as well as some more advanced tips and builds, things like that. And like the video, share it, get it out there. Thanks, everybody.